Even being my most charitable self ever, I would not say I am a fan of this author's work. I've read one of this author's many books, and it was probably the tamest one he wrote. But today, being the third Thursday of the month, we look at a published work that can help us with the writing we want to do. Hi, my name is Patricia Charpentier, and welcome to episode 89 of the Life Writer's Vlog, where you can find inspiration and useful tips to help you write your life stories. The author I'm talking about is Stephen King. Yes, Stephen King. King of the weird and gory and terrifying novels such as Carrie, It, Pet Sematary, The Shining, Misery, The Green Mile. He's written more than 65 novels and 200 short stories. He's also written 5 nonfiction books, and all but one were written under a pen name. The one he wrote under his own name is what we're going to talk about today. In 2000, King wrote On Writing, a Memoir of the Craft. On Writing, a Memoir of the Craft. And this is a very interesting, very helpful book on writing. It has an interesting structure as well. He had me on his side when I read the first paragraph of the main text. He wrote, "I was stunned by Mary Karr's memoir, The Liars Club, not just by its ferocity, its beauty, and by her delightful grasp of the vernacular, but by its totality. She is a woman who remembers everything about her early years." Then he says, "I'm not that way." I appreciated his appreciation of Mary Karr because I'm also a big fan of hers, but I identified with him being a person who doesn't remember everything about my early years. From that statement, he goes on and he writes 38 vignettes. These are little snapshots of his life, the parts he remembers. This section he names CV, capital C, capital V, like it's his resume. The next section of the book is called Toolbox. That's when the book gets really interesting and helpful to me. He talks about what he believes makes for good writing. He uses a lot of examples from other writers, and he includes this classic line: "The adverb is not your friend." I like that. The adverb is not your friend. He goes on to give examples of why he believes that. In the next section, called On Writing, he gives some great advice, which I totally agree with. He says, if you want to be a writer, you must do 2 things above all others: read a lot and write a lot. There's no way around these 2 things that I'm aware of. No shortcut. I want to wave my flag and say, "Hear, hear, Stephen King." I totally agree. You got to read and you got to write in order to become a good writer. In the postscript, he tells the harrowing story of being hit by a car while walking alongside the road near his home in Maine in 1999. The next section of the book is the first draft of a short story he wrote. Then he includes his marked up copy, the edited pages of the short story, with each major change numbered. Then he gives a brief explanation as to why he made the changes he did in editing that piece. The last section of the book is an extensive reading list of books he read during the 3 or 4 years of writing, On Writing, and 3 other books. So tell me, Have you read On Writing by Stephen King? If so, what did you think about it? What was one takeaway you gleaned from this book? If you haven't read it, is it one you might consider? I promise he doesn't have any scary parts as far as I can remember. Otherwise, are you a Stephen King fan? Do you like reading him? Tell us about it in the comments section below. Whether you're a Stephen King fan or not, remember the only way to do this wrong is to not do it at all. The only way to do this wrong is to not do it at all. Until next week, everybody, happy writing.
Don't miss the next episode. Sign up to be notified of future posts and upcoming events. Use the buttons below to share this episode on social media or with a friend who might like it. If you enjoyed this week's episode, you will love our Life Writers membership. Whether you don't know where to start writing your life stories, have started and stopped many times, or have been writing but want to receive feedback to make your stories better, the Life Writers membership is where you need to be. We have a Get Started roadmap, an extensive library of instructional videos, live events via Zoom, and a supportive and active community. If you want to take the stories that live in your heart and mind and put them into words on the page, check out Life Writers at lifewriters.us.